tell y'all what God did for me today. So me and my husband today we was running errands, and he wanted to stop by his uncle's house while I run to Walmart. So I dropped him off at his uncle's house and went to Walmart. And then when I went to Walmart, I got out the car and noticed that I didn't have the keys. Now our car, we have a push to start. So you know, once you cut the car off and open and shut the door, it's a wrap. So I'm walking to the door and notice that I don't have the keys to lock the door. So I'm calling my husband just to make sure the keys wasn't in the car. So I called him and asked him, like, do you got the keys? And he's like, oh, I got the keys. And as I'm asking him and he's telling me he got the keys, I just started the car. Started right up. And I told him, I'm like, God done started the car up. So he was like, come back and come get the keys or whatever. So I went back there. And I had hung up with him on my way back. You know, I was like, thank you, Jesus. You know, I know there was nobody but God. So when I arrived there, he said, call him when I'm outside. So I called him when I was outside. And he was like, shut the car off. So I shut the car off. And he like, see if you can start the car back up. So I see if I did, and I was able to. So he was like, shut the car off again. So I shut the car off again. And he was like, open and close the door. So I opened and closed the door. And he was like, try to start the car up. And I could not start the car up. It would not start up. So I'm like, that was nobody but God. So I was like, thank you, Jesus. So as we driving and, you know, I'm thinking about it, you know, it came to me, I would not leave you nor forsake you. He said, I will not leave you nor forsake you. And I said, thank you, Jesus. I said, thank you, Jesus. And there was another incident today. You know, God is dealing with I love how he's dealing with my whole household. Even when they probably don't know or understand. My husband, he had drunk some of this tea. And he came to me and asked me, like, it was something in there. He asked me, is this supposed to be in there? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, no. So he like, yeah. So we looking at it. This not the one you drunk, but this was out of the same batch that he did drink. And we looking at it and we seen this. See it, but you see it floating, mold or fungus or something. And I was like, oh yeah, oh no, that's I had seen something like that in a Capri Sun. I was like, yeah, I think that's like mold or something. And he was like, yeah, he said, I knew it tasted funny. I was just gonna come and ask you, do it taste funny? So I'm like, oh, throw that. Then he was like, you know, something told me to start drinking water. And I was in the kitchen when he said that, you know, God revealed to me that it was him that told him to start drinking water. So I'm like, you know, it was God that told you to start drinking water. He was like, that was just something that came to my mind. And God allowed me to say, no, because normally your flesh would be like, you want to continue to drink pop because that's what you like. I said, why would your flesh, thank you, Jesus. I said, why would your flesh say, I want water? When you like pop and you like drinking pop like the way you do. So I said, when I was in the kitchen, he also revealed to me, this is why we have to obey when God tells us to do stuff. Because he don't tell us stuff for no reason. If he would have drunk that water, he wouldn't even drunk this. He wouldn't have drunk that. And that's tied to a lot of stuff that we do in life. When God tells you to do something, do it. Do it. Pay attention also. We have to also pay attention to the instructions too. All of us. And I thank God for that revelation, because that's something I have been dealing with. And I think a lot of us have dealt with also, listening and trusting that he don't tell us stuff for no reason. He's telling us to protect us from harm, from anything that could harm us. And I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. So I came back from the kitchen to explain that to him. And he's like, I'm listening. And I was like, thank you, Jesus, Now I could throw it away, because I was like, don't throw it away, because they was trying to throw it away. I was like, don't throw it away, because God want me to talk about that. He works in people even when you think he's not working. He's speaking to people even when you don't think he's speaking. Your prayers are going to be answered, but in the timing and in the ways that God has, and God had gave me a word to speak to my husband, and I found myself, I'm telling on myself, this is wrong. As I said, I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm going to continue to learn. I found myself telling my husband, like, you're supposed to be what your word say. I'm thinking he ain't listening or doing his word or whatever, because I'm not seeing him do it. But in actuality, he's doing it, but according to his identity and not mine. So I'm thinking that as I'm finna say, what did God tell you in your word? God told me that is not your place. It's not your place to sit there and try to judge. It's not my place to sit there and try to tell him how to obey. And he also told me to allow him to learn like I did. Oftentimes, I see myself, I want people to have a relationship like I have. I want them to go get what God have for them so badly. And I have to understand that God don't force himself on nobody. Just like he didn't force himself on me. And I can't force him on nobody. Even though I know the truth and I want them to have the truth. But I have to allow their journey to take them. Allow God to take them through their journey. And allow God to show them him according to how he wants to show them, according to their identity. And I thank God for ministering that to me, because I was like, man, I just want them, sometimes you see the people that you love, you want them to have it, you want them to get it, but you forget the steps that took you to get you where you was at. And he was like, no, and I thank God for always correcting me and letting me know when I'm wrong. I said, thank you, Jesus. I even told him, like, yeah, God told me that's not my place. And God told me it's not my place. And I thank God for that, for correction. And I'm always open for correction, because I'm learning. I'm never not going to be open for correction. Never not going to be open for correction from God. I always want to do things right and in decent and in order and according to how he wants me to do it. Every day I'm learning something, as I said before. Even with this food stuff, as I'm fasting, I'm starting to notice certain things that I don't want no more. Certain things I don't have taste for no more. Starting to eat more fish. Love me some fish now. I love me some fish like how I love chicken. And he was what we eat and how we eat, especially nowadays, because we don't know what they put in here. We don't know. We just believe in what the labels say, but we don't know the extra steps or anything to take this. They make this. So yeah. So that's my baby's bedtime. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, God is constantly working, and I'm allowing God to work and allow Him to do what He needs to do in my life. It's always the little things that I think I've said this in my other video, it's always the little things that move me. And I've learned that if you don't appreciate the little things, how can you appreciate the big things? So, and I thank God for the little things that He do in my life daily, whether it's me, my husband, or my kids. Well, y'all have a good night.